I don't want to blame my team, but my support is not going to play accordingly, right? They're going to die to the Draven, especially Draven. And you know how it goes when Draven gets a kill.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah. Like if I'm playing against an AD carry that also wants to scale, right? Like a Twitch, for example. Or anything that is not Draven or Tristana, I just cannot play against those two champions. Plus, there's Arcane Comet Misfortune, which I can play against. It's just annoying.
Okay, yeah, I think it will benefit you when you watch the session, because we went over a lot of like how to play into engagers, how you play into like people that wanna hit you a lot and poking, like even Draven can count in that regard. Okay, I'm gonna start sharing my screen here.
Okay.
Let me know if you can see, guys.
Yep.
Okay, what I'm gonna also do is I'm gonna press play and let me know if you can hear the audio. So, do you hear the audio?
Audio of the game, I don't.
No, I can't hear the audio.
It shouldn't be too necessary though. Just whatever. If you don't hear the audio, make sure that down here in the bottom right corner you don't have it muted. But it's fine. I don't think we need the audio too much. Okay, so before we even watch the replay, let's go into the setup of the game. This is what I do with all of my students. Every time I'm gonna watch a replay of my student, I first do like a check of the runes, the items, the matchups that we're seeing. So Shadow Kiss. This is US, right? Shadow.
It's, I think, Ioni.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Ioni.
Here. Every AUNE student that I have calls it Iune. Instead of Iune. Or Eune. Okay, so...
Eune.
Wait. Where is the Bolivar match? Oh, here. This one, right?
On that account, I played top lane mostly, but on my other accounts, I play jungle. But like,
Okay.
I don't want to brag, but I don't have any like things that I need to focus on the top lane currently. I want to learn jungle because that's my new role.
Okay.
I'm playing jungle for my team, and I want to like do good in the team.
Okay, fair enough. So a couple things here. First of all, the first thing you do as a jungle is what I call a checklist, okay? So the checklist you do as a jungle in the champion select is going to be asking 3 questions. This is really important that you do. I started doing this when I coached teams, and then I realized that even for solo queue it's really strong. So the checklist goes like, the first question is, at what point in the early game is your jungle available on the map, and at what point is the enemy jungle available in the map? So this means basically it's a fancy way of asking, are you gonna full clear? Is the enemy jungle gonna full clear? That's the question, right? Basically, at what minute you're gonna leave your jungle for the first time, and the same question for the enemy jungle. So Voliver, way much of an early game jungler than Kayn, by far, right? So that's the first question here. Voliver, usually in Halo, they try to go for 3, 4, or 5 camp ganks. Kayn, not so much. They either like to full clear, or if they want to go blue Kayn, they might 3 camp cheese gank bot lane, but even then, that's the same point that Voliver can gank. So far, so good. The other thing that we notice is that Kayn has Ghost. That's also not a very good early game spell. So that's even more of a reason to try to fight early. We also notice he has Conqueror, so he's probably going red Kayn. So he's probably not gonna gank bot lane early either because of that reason.
I just want to say we can't see the things that you're marking.
Oh, that's true. So you're gonna have no sound. Okay, guys. If you want, I can like if you want, I can like make the sounds with my mouth when people hit each other. Like pew, pew, pew. Okay. No sound
It
anymore.
would be music, but that's effects not required.
So, with that out of the way, the second question you ask when the game is loading is about the strong sides, right? Who has strong side, who has weak side in both teams, right? So if we go to this team, the blue team, and this question is for the early game, right? Because it's not the same to ask who is strong side early who has the setup early as it is to ask who has the setup later, right? So in the blue team, who would you say has the setup early for ganks?
Think playing for top side.
Right. So Maokai,
I think Maokai sets up
yeah.
free ganks.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Maokai
Maokai.
has way higher setup, especially against a Pantheon that doesn't have escapes. Has way higher setup
Yeah.
than Ajana and Kaisa. Especially when the enemy is an Ezreal with a Blink, with Exhaust, with a Renata, with Guardian. So that's harder, way harder, right? But now, if we ask the same question from the point of view of Kane, he kind of also wants to gank top lane as well, right? Because we don't have any like engaging ball unless Renata goes for like a flash Q. And top lane is running Ignite. So even though this is not guaranteed 100% of the time, in games like this, one would expect the first action of the game to happen around the top side, depending on where they start. So the third question is that, where do they start? So where would you start with Oliver in this game?
Well, if you want a path to top, you start bot side. But I think in this game I started top side and I invaded him and I killed him
Okay.
because Volibear wins the 1v1 early.
So be careful about that, because invades are not 1v1s, right? Because depending on who has the prio, the invade is going to be a 2v2 or even a 3v3. So the first thing I notice here, Pantheon has way higher prio than Maokai, right? Way higher. So Pantheon should have the prio, and if it comes down to a level 3, level 2 fight, their team is so much superior to yours. Like Sylas is a level 3 skirmish king, Pantheon is a level 3 skirmish king again. So this is dangerous, and probably if it works out this year because they didn't get prio or they didn't move the camera or things like that. So we will see.
I invade. No. I didn't invade him top side because
Oh,
I invaded him bot side when my bot lane got like a wave shoved. Then I invaded him because as a Kane player, you lose like 30 seconds on your
oh
clear
wait,
if you
so
start
Kane
bot
started
side.
top? Kane started top?
Yeah, Kane. If you play Kane, every Kane player knows that if you start like blue Gromp, your clear is like 20 seconds slower
Well, but this
because
is
you
what
don't have the
happens.
damage.
This is what happens. So we talked about. I don't. First of all, 20 seconds. I know that it's like slower, but 20 seconds. I think that's kind of exaggerating it.
He into this. He has no flash, so he just walked up.
Yeah. This is just.
I don't
game making.
understand.
Yeah.
Did you see that I auto attacked him through the wall? If you go back a little bit, like look at that. Look at me right now. I don't understand.
Yeah, well, that happens if they are really
Small,
close to
small,
it.
small indie dev company.
No, that's good. That's okay actually, because if Oliver's range, remember, melee is not a thing in League. Every champion has a range, like either here or here. Like it's just smaller than range, but they have a range. And remember the auto attacks. I taught you this in the auto attack fundamentals bootcamp. You don't need to be, touch your auto attack range. Doesn't need to touch the center of the enemy hitbox to auto attack. It needs to touch the border of the enemy hitbox. So if King was here, his border of the hitbox is around here, and if Bolivar is here, the auto attack is here. So that's why.
Yeah,
it uses.
I guess I walked in the wall to like get as close to him as possible, and then I just auto attacked him once.
Yeah, Bolivar's
Yes,
range
like-
is pretty broken, by the way. Like Bolivar is not very melee. Bolivar, yeah.
Fiverr in general is kind of broken, to be honest.
Where's the range? 150. See, so most melee champions have 125, such as Leona, things like that. And then I think his Q gives him a little bit of range, right? I'm not sure about that. Maybe not.
It's just movement speed.
Okay, but like I was saying, first of all, I don't think Kane loses 20 seconds with that clear swap, maybe 10. And the other thing is, that is worth it, because remember what I said? He has no way of ganking bot lane. Like, starting top is super ultra bad here, so he trolled. If he did what I told you, which is starting bot and bot lane towards top, towards the Pantheon with an Ignite, it's way better. Especially when you consider bot lane is range and he's going red Kane. So if he goes bot lane and ganks, he gets no stacks for the red Kane. Whereas if he goes top, he has a Pantheon with stun and Ignite. And I'm okay with no flash now. So he should 100,000,000% start bot here. There's no way that a challenger game will start top here, ever. Because you have Pantheon with flash Ignite, you have Maokai with no flash, and you're going red and you want the melee stacks. So starting bot here by Kane, if he does topside start, that's really, really, really bad. Did you know that he started topside or did you guess it? That's the question.
I just like every Kane player starts topside, so
Oh, but you did start bot. You told me you started top. That's good. So I agree. This is good by you. I think you should start bot. Good.
I actually don't remember this game. I forgot. Wait, what did I do? I forgot. I think I did the Red Raptors and Gromp, his Gromp, and then killed him because Kane players start topside, so I just went and met him at his jungle.
Okay, another thing
Because
here.
I
Yeah, go ahead.
because I wanted to say that he was gonna be behind in his clear, so he was not gonna match my speed.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
So even if he like can't like match my speed of the clear, he would still like have to miss camps intentionally to not like get invaded, which is bad for him either way.
So while this is good by you, I guess just from looking at your the enemy bot lane, you could realize that they didn't leash. So I think you had a 80% chance of being right about him starting top here, so I don't hate this. But as a general rule of thumb, because him starting bot side here was so much superior, be careful of doing this if you don't know where he started, because if you're just relying on him being bad, right? Like, this time you did know, but if you don't know where he started and you do this, you just rely on him being bad and starting top in the situation where bot was so much better. By the way, the other reason why bot lane start is not that much slower in a real game is because you get the bot lane leash, and in top lane you don't get a leash. So that what you're telling me, like, oh yeah, bot lane clear is slower in blue buff, that's because they trade in practice tool with no leash both sides. But in a real game, you have a leash here, but you don't here. So I still think it is a bit slower, but no way it's as slow as you told me, like 20 seconds, no way.
Well, with a leash from the bot lane, it's like it should be pretty similar to a top lane leash.
Okay, so we got the level 3 plus heal here. That was a mistake. So Kane's still not here, so you want to save the smite for when Kane finally appears, so you have it for 2 reasons. One,
But my smite is coming back in 5 seconds
no, here's a
because I
17.
didn't. 17. No, I didn't really. Oh, my bad.
Yeah. So
But I didn't use the smite so I could smite his camp and get full HP.
right, but the Gromp
But I-
heals you. The Gromp heals you, so you would have been full HP regardless. And you also have red buff, right? So here you would have been full HP regardless. And it was like 3-4 auto attacks from dead with a red buff and poison from the jungle item. So the issue here is that you're not thinking about the future. Again, you're relying on him like misplaying in the future, because if you save the smite here, what you can do is not even wait for Kane. You just start this blue buff, and when you see him, you can kind of ignore him and maybe hit him or hit the blue, but you have the option of smiting either for HP or smiting to actually get the blue buff in his face and then run away. But when you smite this Grump, you lock yourself into only being able to like fight him, and you get the blue buffs out of the equation, right? So you like limit your options for the future. The other thing that I wanted to mention, in this game it won't matter because we know what Kane did. But there's one thing that we call like the first time the enemy jungle shows in the map. And what we do, maybe you already know this, but what we do is we press tab, we put the camera on him, and we check the 3 things, which is like you check the CS, the level, and the buff duration. So not only what buff he has, the duration. So why is this? I'm gonna explain something about jungle here that is really, really broken. So let's say that this Kane is getting invaded, right? He doesn't know what you did. Let's say that Kane sees you here now, right? So why do we check these things? So you, Shadow, like how many CS does each jungle camp give you?
4.
Right. So when you have these camps, that means Bolivar is 3 camp and Kane is 2 camps right now, right? Because you divide by 4. Then you check the levels. So by checking the levels, you know another things like which camps he did, because there are some camps that don't give you level 3, some of them do, but I will explain later. There's something even more broken, the buff duration. So the reason we check the buff duration is the following. This game, it doesn't matter too much, but I do want to mention it. So let's say that you see the enemy jungle appear, like, you are blue side, as always. We are always blue side. So let's say you see the enemy jungle appear here for the first time at like 330. Has 24 CS. Level 3. Okay. So what is this? What did he do?
Level 3.
Yes.
So he did his blue side clear, I guess. So that's 3 camps, and then 2 camps in Scuttle.
Exactly.
This-
So this is 6 camps, but one of them has to be Scuttle Crab, because if it was all 6 camps of the jungle, this would have been level 6. So he has 24 CS, which is a full clear, but level 3, that means that is 1 camp skipped and Scuttle Crab. So let's say you want to know which camp he skipped. Most people will say, yeah, that's obvious, he skipped the Crux. But you don't have to guess. Actually, there's a way you can know for 100% sure. So what you do is you click on him and you check the buff duration, okay? So you see when you click on someone here, we see the buff duration. You see there?
Yeah.
What you do with this is the following. If the buff duration, if he appears topside, right? And the buff duration, so let's say he has 20 CS here. So he skipped the camp and didn't do Scuttle. So this is like a 315, right? And you want to know which camp he skipped. So if the buff duration, the red buff duration is like this, full duration almost, that means he didn't do anything after red buff and just walked directly here. But if the red buff duration is like this, it means he did something after red buff. And the camp he skipped was before red buff. Okay? So just by pressing tab, looking at his CS, and clicking on him, looking at the level and the buff duration, you know exactly what pathing he did, what camps he did. You don't have to guess anymore. You know for sure, for certain. Why is this so broken? Because not only you know which camps he skipped, so with this information, for example, let's say that he was like playing another champion and he did like a really weird ass clear and he skipped like, I don't know, he skipped like one of the bot lane camps, but he did clear all of the top side or whatever, like, let's imagine for a second. So you will still see him here at 315 with 20 CS, but this time the red buff duration will be something like this, because he did like this camp after the red buff or something. So why does this matter so much? Because this tells you 2 things. One, it tells you when is he gonna recall, because if you see this situation, you know he's gonna recall now and go bot side. But if you see that he skipped this one, he's not gonna recall. He's gonna stay here a bit longer and then go outside. So that helps you how early you can invade. And by the way, if this is the situation, you can invade now. There's one of the bot side camps up. And the other thing that it tells you is basically his future pathing until minute 5, right? You know exactly when he's gonna recall, what side of the map he's gonna recall towards, and then what side of the map he's gonna path after that. So you know, like, by pressing tab, looking at the CS and the buff duration, you know, like, all the pathing past and future from minute 0 to minute 5. Okay, so now you know why, if you look at any challenger games in Korea right now, or even in my server, mid lane meta right now is pushing the first wave, crushing it under tower, and warding the raptors. Why do they do that? Because when they do that, they see the enemy jungle to press tab and do all of this that I told you. And they see it early. So if you ward before the first wave, there's a chance that the ward expires before the enemy jungle gets there. If the enemy jungle does all of these kind of slow, the ward expires. And if they ward after the second wave in the raptors, there's a chance that the enemy jungle did like red raptors and you don't see him. So this is why warding after the first wave in the raptors is broken. You're always gonna see the enemy jungle, you always can press tab. So now playing jungle in Halo right now feels like you have Twisted Fate ultimate on you all the time. Everybody knows where you are nowadays because of this. In my opinion, they should change the jungle CS to make them a bit more complicated, because right now it's so easy to track people with that. That's the basics of it. By the way, even if you're a laner, like mid lane, if you're mid lane, do this a lot, right? First time you see a jungle. Okay, so see, remember about the smite thing that I told you? So you don't have smite for 6 seconds, and he does. So if he's any good, he's gonna smite this at 450. There we go. See?
He smited it. He smited it.
Yeah. So, and he gets level 3. So this is all predictable by you smiting the Grom. Wouldn't you say changing the jungler CS will make it easier to know which camps the jungler did? Depends on how they do it. So in the past, It's more complicated, that's the thing. In the past, it was different for every camp. Every camp had a different CS amount. So while you could, in theory, know, it was kind of complicated. Most people, like, couldn't be asked. I don't know, they should just make it so that it's not as easy as it is now. So yeah, you end up killing him, but shouldn't have smited there. So let's see what we do now. So the bot instead, impossible to gank. Just wait for a scuttle crab. So I kinda think that you're not moving your camera at all here, are you? Because mid lane Silas is no flash and 1 HP. And if you just move mid lane, you could flash stun him behind the tower, like between the tower and the wall here. So this is one of the things that you need to do a lot with the jungle, which is moving the camera a lot. And it's too late now, but a bit earlier, look at here. See? Had you moved the camera, you would have never taken the scuttle crab. If you move the camera mid lane, you see Silas has this HP and no flash. You just... And by the way, how do you know he has no flash? By moving the camera earlier as well. Or maybe he flashed in the invade, I don't remember. But you would have seen this flash. And this pathing already is wrong, right? Because you could have gone this way and just... You and then flash him, and there's no way he can ever escape that. With your insane speed, I imagine you have celerity runes. Yeah, you have. So
Yeah.
So this is just a lost opportunity because of not moving the camera and looking at mid lane. And I'm not even talking about saving the Katarina here. Even if she dies, this Ellis should be dead. There's no way that this Ellis is not dead. The only reason is not moving the camera, right? And we go here, but it's kind of late. And if he dies, it's only because he's bad. Yeah, I don't think... Let's see if he dies. Oh my god, what is he doing? Flash. Oh yeah. So it's kind of late, see? There's no way that Scuttlecraft was better than the Silas kill in mid lane.
Yeah.
And again, same thing.
No.
Look at this. Look at this. Pantheon is pushed under tower with no HP and no flash, and you prefer the Scuttle again. See? So Volibear is not a full clear jungler. If you were Shyvana, I could understand this, or Nocturne. But even Nocturne and Shyvana... So if you were Nocturne or Shyvana, not going mid lane was fine. But not going top lane here, I don't think there's a single jungle champion that doesn't gank this Pantheon here. He's pushed, no flash, no escapes. You had red buff. Full duration on red buff. Because you refresh
I
it
think
before.
I ganked him, but it was like it was still late, you know.
I mean, you should
Like
be
if I
there
if,
already, yeah.
yeah, I should have
Because
just ran straight because I would have gotten there like in an instant because I
yeah,
have a
it's water walking.
water
Yeah.
walking and
Mhm.
celerity.
Yeah. So this is why I don't like watching replays without looking at your actual point of view recorded with your screen. But if I, as a coach, if you ask me, I think you're not moving the camera here. I don't think you. So you're Diamond Master, so I don't think you don't know that you should gank this. I think if I ask you, you will go like, oh yeah, ganking Pantheon is better here. I think that you just didn't
Yeah.
notice it. That's what I think. So I think you didn't move the camera. So people ask me like, as a jungler, how do I make decisions? I don't know when to gank and when to farm. And it's like, you probably do know. It's just that you don't move the camera to know when like it's possible, right? I always tell people, this is what I always say, right? If you go to a restaurant and I ask you, what do you want to eat? What's the first question that you would ask me?
Okay, like
Can
the
have a
menu.
menu.
Right.
Yeah, the menu.
So you need information to make decisions, don't you? So camera in League is how you get information. So here you had two possible decisions, and the only reason you're not making it is not because you don't know which one is better, it's because you don't have the information. In your mind right now, probably this is the only choice. This one, you didn't know this was, like, you didn't know this was on the menu. Like, this was your favorite dish, but you didn't get the menu, okay? Basically. Can you tell I'm hungry with the food metaphors?
Yeah.
Okay.
I still saw it, but it was like too late.
Right,
Like
exactly.
I see it, and now it's like over, so I couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's insane that with the insane early that we had, with an invade, the enemy jungler being so behind, and you having this insane setup top with no flash on any lanes, well, in any solo lanes, it's insane that we didn't gank any lane, because you are... Volibear, the way you see Volibear is like a better Xin Zhao, okay? Volibear is a Xin Zhao that falls off less. He has the same early potential as Xin Zhao, but falls off less. And he likes fighting early as much as Xin Zhao. So imagine if you were Lee Sin, Elise, or Xin Zhao, you would have went for this gank. It's just that people don't realize that Volibear has the same early. if you watch any like high challenger Volibear bots, what they do is like perma gank early. They don't farm as much. Like at this point, you have 28 CS now. You would have 16 maybe, but you will have like 3 kills. So I'm confused as to why you're going this direction instead of through the rear with the water walking, so as to not allow them to see that you're coming, right?
I think because he pinged it like earlier, like for like warded, because
But it doesn't matter if
he
it's warded,
pinged.
right?
I don't know. I
If-
thought it was like a safer option to go through the lane because I had flash.
If it's warded, by the way, isn't this warded as well? Like the minions are wards, right? They give vision. So, but if it's warded, you just go through the river and hug this wall to the right. So even if it's warded, this is something that a lot of junglers don't understand. Wards don't make your ganks impossible, okay? Wards give the enemy vision that you're coming, but if you're Pantheon and you're standing here with your shield and your spear saying those like quotes that Pantheon says, like, what are you gonna do if you see Volibear in a ward here? Like, it's too fucking late, right? Like, Volibear just has water walking, Q's alert, you have 428 speed, and you're gonna come this direction, and he's doomed. Like, he's not gonna survive either way. And I don't think you even waste flash in that case. That's what I think. And you also could choose either Kayn or Pantheon, because Kayn has no ghost, by the way. So, I mean, no flash. So you could either kill Kayn and then flash on Pantheon, for example. And flash out attack with red buff and you kill 2. So like you stun Kayn out of the wall. And then after killing him, you just flash and out attack the Pantheon to finish him off with red buff. So I think because of this, you only get 1 of the kills and you waste flash, right? So that's bad pathing. And I wonder if again this pathing happens because of not moving the camera enough, because if you just look at the map, if I'm just looking at the map, remember something guys, if you only look at the map and the portraits, you don't see any of this, because in a real League of Legends game, what you have is like the portraits of your team here and the minimap, so you know only your own team's HP, you don't know the enemy's team's HP. So if I show you this, the Volibear pathing now makes sense. It's like, oh yeah, Maokai is about to get dived, he has 1 HP, so if I go this direction, I prevent it, that's good, right? But when you actually move the camera and look at the enemy's HPs, then this pathing is worse. So I wonder if he has to do with that as well. Okay, so if you had done the CS streak, you would have known for sure whether these camps are up or not. So going for this invading the grumps is redundant. You are not gonna kill that. So you might think you're making him lose time, but you're losing time yourself as well. So I guess Raptors and then recall. I don't like how long you're staying in the map with so much gold. I think you should have recalled there. Okay. Like, this is good if you're a full clear jungler again, but remember, Volibear wants to stay in the map and fight as much as he can. You're wasting a lot of your early game potential. Okay, so we do go for a recall. I'm skipping so I can see the next VOD review soon. A lot of good stuff so far. As we can see, if you had recalled earlier, well, he didn't go for the gank, I guess. I wonder why Silas turned around there. I guess they saw him. Okay. We could go for a bot lane gag. At this point, remember guys, if Drake is up, never go. What Kane's doing here is giga trolling, okay? When Drake is up, don't go for top lane ganks. Go for bot lane or mid lane ganks, and when you get the kill, or just make the enemy back away, that's enough to get the Drake. Drakes are OP as hell, guys. Does anyone know the win rate of Drake Soul? If I told anyone, don't spoil it. People that don't know it. Like, the win
It's
rate
pretty
that,
hot.
right, so just from your feeling of it, how much would you say, like, the win rate, the chance of winning you have with any soul, no, the soul, any combination of 4 dragons? Yeah, it is 92% right now, and in fact in master I think it's like 93. And by the way, just 2 drakes is 65% and 3 drakes is 87%, so that's broken as hell. And it's not about the stats, okay? Each drake gives your team 5 minutes scaling time. and makes the game 5 minutes shorter if you're ahead or 5 minutes longer if you're behind. Both cases beneficial for you. You want to do Drakes. So Bolivar being bot lane here is fine. Kane being top lane here is not. I do think... I wish I could see what's happening in bot because I don't know whether this gank is good or bad if we don't move the camera there. So okay, so this is what I mean. He didn't get the kill, but that's fine. It doesn't matter. The bot lane backed off, and now you have Prio in the bot lane wave. So if this was a challenger game, Bolivar just helps push this wave or even the next one, and then you go Drake together. The enemy bot lane is flashless, 50% HP. This is a free Drake. So what is going on here? Again, not moving the camera, right? Like, I don't know what just happened bot lane, right? But they fought each other and some of them died, but we were clearing the ward meanwhile. Like here, see, they are diving and fighting and stuff. There, they're already fighting. But I don't know for sure if it was or not, if I don't see them. What I know is that I don't think this dive is possible. Yeah, you have no minion wave. So, wasting a lot of time here. Could have started the Drake. All this time you could have been doing the Drake. There's nothing you can do here. Yeah. So that's just a lot of time wasted. And Moke is perma pinging Kane in top lane. So this was a free Drake for you. Look, mid lane wave is with Prio. So they will have to go and catch it. Bot lane died, and Ezreal cannot move. He has no flash and no HP. And Janna can come and shield you in the Drake, which gives you AD and the shield for the Drake. They don't have vision because you clear with Sweeper here, so you know that the trinket is here. And the only vision they could have is a ping ward. But they don't. The ping ward is further up. Yeah, so this is all... So think about it, right? If Kane is topside farming camps, it means that the bot lane camps still down for a little bit. But now they're spawning finally. So this is a very weird consolation prize in my opinion. For how far ahead you are, and how bad the Kane is playing, and how much work you did in bot lane, stealing the enemy Gromp is like a very small price, I think. Like a small advantage that you get compared to what you could have gotten, which is like the Drake, for example. And if you tell me, well, the Drake is too high HP now, it takes a long time to do, well, you just wasted like 30 seconds doing nothing either way here. So those 30 seconds would have been better wasted in the Drake. Let's keep forward a little bit. Have Grenada. Again, same thing about... Okay, that was just coin flip, right? Same thing about the smite. We did the same things. You smited when there was no one close, instead of saving it for when people are close. So as a jungler, when you invade, save the smite for when you know people are gonna contest, right? Ezreal could have stolen that. Okay, so we finally take the Drake, but... Well, you still will get it now. It was way easier to get it before, way safer. Kane is just trolling getting your jungle here instead of going bot side. So at least you're getting it, that's good. So let's see. We got the red buff. Wait, let me go back a little bit. Personally, I would have gone to this pink ward, not to the red buff. Because remember, you're not abusing the huge early game potential that Bolivar has. What's the purpose of going celerity? Oh, that's thick. what's the purpose of going celerity and Lucidity Rush if you're gonna use it for perma clearing only, right? So you just took the flash of both bot laners in the last play. So why don't we go and use that, right? And we have a pink ward here. And you know, by the way, you know for a fact that this push is not worth because you cleared it before invading the jungle. You cleared this push, remember? And then nobody in the enemy bot lane walked up to this push. So it's impossible that it's worth it. If you use like some Sherlock Holmes there, you remember that nobody walked up here. Now they may perhaps work, but in other words, they both have no flash. You have like 400 and something speed when you approach them. So this would have been a free gank, and you will be applying the early game that Bolivar has. Bolivar has to gank early a lot. Okay. So again, this is just because you're Volier. If you are Shyvana, whatever, I think that's fine. So this is why in the early game we asked ourselves whether our jungler is full clear or not. So this is what we were doing. See, like you're only ganking after full clearing, which is a very standard thing to do on a Graves, on a Kayn, on a Shyvana, on a Nocturne. But not so much on something like, you need to see this like Elise or Lee Sin, sort of. Okay, so I like this. This is the first gank that I really, really like. Never mind. So the pathing is really bad here, right? Remember what I told you? We need to go this way, not here. So can anyone tell me why?
I guess I like close the distance. Like I give him less space to move, and I push him into the bushes, so he can't like get away. Because
So-
if he goes straight in a straight line to his tower, he's just gonna die because he doesn't have space to move.
So basically, I made a whole video about this. I never posted it yet because I don't know. I need to finish the details, but I will post it someday. But this is what I call jungle gap, which is gap meaning gank approach pathing, okay? So up until Challenger, I don't know exactly why, but most junglers that are below Grandmaster Challenger don't approach ganks properly. So this is what I mean, right? So have you guys ever played like PUBG, for example, or Fortnite or whatever? Like what you will notice about those games is like the bullets take a long time to land on the targets. So therefore you don't aim at where they are now. You aim at where they will be in the future when the bullet lands, right? So ganks are kind of like the same. Like if Pantheon is here and you're here, so let's make it color coded so you understand. So you're gonna be blue and Pantheon. Oh, okay, that's it. And Pantheon is like here. So you wanna be like these bullets or arrows in PUBG or whatever. You wanna think like, okay, where is Pantheon? You take time to get to it, right? It's not instant. You don't come here instantly. So if you take time to get here, you want a path towards where the enemy will be in the future when you finally get there. So if you do this that you're doing currently, that you're doing like this, yeah, you're going to him, but you're going to where he is right now. Guess what? When you finally reach this point, he will be here. And then you know what you're doing? You're doing this. You're chasing from behind. Instead, if you just go this direction, you're going to where he's going to be in the future. And let's apply math again. Doesn't this look like a right triangle with a hypotenuse? We know the two sides are always longer than the hypotenuse, right? So this path is always going to be shorter than doing this. Because the path that you're doing now, you're first going to where he was in the past when you initiated the gank. And then you're chasing from behind to where he is now. So let's see that pathing again. Just from looking at this path, you know this gank is not very good. Like, he can still work, but if he flashes smite, it will work. But you never ever path like this as a jungler in ganks. See, you're going to where he is now. See this? You're pathing towards where he is right now. Look at Volier. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he's like actually clicking on Pantheon right now or something. So you're going to where he is right now. But when you get here, Pantheon will be like here. So you're gonna do this. So why not just do this from the get-go and force him to like cut his way out and force him to go to your tower, right? This is how you lose free kills, okay? I cannot stress how many free kills my jungle students lose by doing this kind of thing. The other reason you do this is because think about what is called the PTS, right? The path to safety. If you're Pantheon, you're like, my profession, and what is the safety here? Like, what's the safety place where you're gonna go when you get ganked? And it's the tower, right? This is safety. So that means that there's something called PTS, path to safety. Whenever you gank someone, you think about their path to safety. Why? You gotta imagine where they're gonna path, because that's how you determine where you are gonna path. If you just chase where they currently are, that's super bad. So if you know their PTS, the best thing a jungle can do is cut off the PTS. You know what? You know why? Because if you cut off the PTS and you come here, the only way Pantheon can get to safety is walking through you. So you don't even need gap closers, because he's the one that will be closing the gap. Pantheon is the one that has to come to you now. You are between the safety and him. But if you path towards where he is right now, when you get there, he will already have moved here. And now you are behind his safety and you get a chase and you escape closer. So you will never ever see like a challenger jungler do a pathing like this. You will see them do like this, or even maybe something like this. In this case, I think the middle one, so the A, this is A and this is B. I think A was the best one because Pantheon is low HP. So this one is enough to stun him and finish him off. But definitely, well, I think you will still get this kill, but this was probably your biggest mistake in the game right now. Because if you do this every game, you're gonna lose like... Let's say that you do this in 10 ganks, you're gonna lose 5 free kills. Probably. This game, it wouldn't matter. But you see how... Exactly. See how you had to flash? You see how you had to like chase him from behind and then flash? Whereas if you went this direction, even when he flashes, you are still here. And it's like, oh yeah, but how do you know he's gonna walk here? Like, you do know, absolutely. Just think about it. If you're Pantheon, where else are you gonna go? Like, if you cut this way out, there's nowhere else he can go. Okay? So I can't stress this enough. This is so important, okay? Because you had to waste so many resources for this gank when it was a free kill here in the bush if you path correctly. Thankfully, your champion is balanced. Yeah, okay. I was wrong about something. I was wrong about this being good even with your bad pathing. So this Kayn double kill only happens because of this pathing. Think about it. If you path correctly, Pantheon dies without getting to the enemy tower. You don't dive. The Maokai doesn't dive. You don't waste flash and ult. You get out. So you would have flash, you would have ult, you would have a kill, and you wouldn't have died. So Kayn only killed you too because of this pathing. Do you guys understand this? It's really important, okay? So is that clear, like Shadow? Or like anything I should explain about it?
Yeah, like I want to say it doesn't happen to me often, but like when I like 1 or 2 out of 10 games when I play jungle, that happens to me when I just like don't like cut off the enemy's escape, and he
Right.
like he gets a chance to survive, which like I should just like think about what would I do if I was him. Like he's low, he needs to get to his tower. So yeah.
You need to think about two things, okay? The higher level players will constantly think about the enemy's intentions and the future instead of the present. So you're thinking about only the present and your intentions, okay? So I would like to see this more, but we gotta go to the next replay so we are fair to everyone else that sent replay. So thank you so much for that replay, Shadow. A lot of good stuff to counter. So the moving the camera to check the HPs of lanes and state of lanes, not staying in the map so long with high gold as a jungler, and ganking more as a Volibear instead of perma clearing, especially when you're ahead, using the boots to gank lanes without flash after getting that flash, not wasting time and doing the Drake, and the last one was the jungle gap, I think. Okay. So this replay, I don't know if this person is here, this is BL Wildeman with Varus. Is he here? I wonder.
Yes, I am.
Hey Dan, so anything you would like to tell us about this game? Like what elo is this? What do you remember about this game? Anything at all?
I think this was at silver 1 or silver 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think I lost this game pretty hard. I sent 2 replays, and one I won pretty hard and one I lost. But I don't really remember which one this was.
Okay. Well,
But
thank you. I like this because I love Varus. He's my favorite ADC, even though I don't play him a lot. But first thing we notice how the comps, guys. They have an early game comp with Jarvan jungle. You have a late game comp with Master Yi and Gale in the same team. So the only thing you gotta do is not die and you insta-win minute 20-25, right? So wait, Dan, did you come to my session yesterday about ADC?
Yes, I was there.
Okay.
So I already noticed that I stand in melee range of the
yeah, exactly. So
minions, so
mm-hmm.
that's really bad.
Right, exactly. So what's the point of? It's like you are playing with the same range as Naila here, right? So what's the point of?
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah.
say.
So like Naila has no weakness here, right? Like Naila's weakness is supposedly that she's short range, but we are playing with the same range as her. So what I always tell students, guy, imagine if Riot nerfed Varus tomorrow, and they said like, yeah, from now on Varus has 250 range. Nobody would play him, right? But this is the version of Varus that you're playing if you do this. So you are playing that nerfed version that will probably have like 30% win rate or something. So let's focus on getting that level 2. What I'm gonna do with this game, because we haven't looked at any late game stuff yet, so I'm gonna skip a bit to a later stages after this first recall or so. So we're also being really impatient about the CSing, and it's really bad because with Varus not getting the CS, like here you're impatient, right? When you don't get the CS with Varus, it doesn't give you the attack speed bonus. So if you had gotten the CS, then you can hit Naila with like the increased attack speed from your passive. So that would have been 3 auto attacks instead of 2, for example. So I think Naila gets level 2 1 minion sooner than the other bot laners, right? If I'm not mistaken. So she will, by the way, she will get level 2 with this one instead of 3. But you're still ahead.
No, I have 1 minion to.
Yeah, but I mean, you're gonna get before her. But I mean that Naila, other bot laners would need all of these 3, but I think Naila only needs.
Yeah, it's
this.
passive, of course.
Yeah.
But this Nyla XP only counts when she lost hits or whenever a minion dies.
No, every time a minion dies close to her, and she.
No, it's only if Nyla CS's the minion.
Really?
It's only if she gets the CS. Yeah, it's only if she kills it and if she has an ally nearby. Otherwise, she only gets the regular experience.
I knew about the eyeliner. I didn't know about the. Remember what I told you, by the way, about early Jarvan gank? So we could have predicted this just using the. Yeah, I didn't know the nail thing. I thought it was every minion, so thanks for that. I played her a lot also, but I didn't notice. I guess it matters more if you
I read
lose
the
more
wiki on the champion to be like, yo, what the fuck is this, Riot?
I think it doesn't really matter because you hit like 95% of the CS.
So wait, not really, right? Like she lost a lot of them. I mean, these 2 casters, if she kills them, she will have 9 CS out of 12, right? But anyway, this gank is entirely predictable when you notice the jungle matchup, because remember what I told you that you do as a checklist in early game in the loading screen is like, is my jungler a full clear, and is the enemy jungler full clear, and when is the enemy jungle gonna show in the map, right? And I told you when we were starting this VOD, I told you that the Jarvan is gonna gank early and you just have to not die and scale for late. So this pushing that you did here, well, I don't think you die though, or do you? Yeah. But you know, that was kind of preventable. If you dodge that Lex binding, you kill her, by the way, with like Janna W, and then you just kite her and she flashes, I guess. So
I think I used to heal here for the movement speed.
yeah, true. Okay, so we need to crush this wave to then make it bounce. So see how you're not spacing in and out every auto attack, right? That's what we talked about yesterday.
Yeah, that was my question too, how to practice that. So
Yeah, I remember. So this was before the session. Oh, so there a misclick, huge misclick. If you don't misclick there, if you don't misclick here, you could apply a stack of blight, and then the E would get her 1 HP, and then you flash out and she dies. Here. There, auto attack her instead. If you auto attack her, it's like, I think she dies with only auto attack and E here, actually. Oh, you don't have E.
I didn't have E.
Yeah, but she still dies with a flash.
Yeah. But I think I get level 3 here, and then
WQ or what?
or somewhere here, and then W2.
Oh.
And then she recalls.
Remember, Wait, let me see something again here. So when Jarvan ganked you, you lost experience of one minion, right? Because otherwise you will be level 3 right now. Let me see if I'm right here. So Jarvan is ganking you here. Pay attention to this minion wave. There were 2 melees alive. Yeah, there, the melee died. Yeah. So this experience that you lost is why you didn't get this kill, because you would have gotten level 3 and double UQ. That's unlucky. That happens fairly often. Okay, so now we want to crush and recall. So you should have charged that arrow a bit more. What I will say here, so I don't have access to your mouse and inputs, but it certainly looks like you're... So this is bad, you should just recall. You could have just recalled sooner. You wasted some time there. But anyway, you definitely gotta practice in increasing that APM and inputs, because what's happening here is that I even noticed when Lux binded you, it's like you're clicking probably too far away from your champion, which causes 2 things. Your champion moves in like long straight lines that are really easy to predict and land skill shots, and also your APM is very low. That's why
Yeah,
things,
that's true.
yeah, so that's why
I
things like
also click. I think I click pretty slow, and I need to practice that. But
that's
for
why you
instance,
click closer. If you click closer to your
if I
champion, you
use
force. Okay. If you
if I
use what?
use the I have attack move on A, and I can press this faster than a mouse key. So if I use that, I can move around more quickly and fluently. But I can't use that too. So I just need to practice clicking faster, but I don't really know how.
So I'm gonna tell you how, like, when you click closer to your champion, you force yourself to increase the APM, because if I tell you, Wildeman, please go here and do it clicking far away from your champion, how many clicks does it take? 1. You click here, your champion goes. Straight line. If I ask you to go here, but clicking close to your champion, how many clicks does it take now? 1, 2, 3, right? So clicking close to your champion forces you to increase the APM. Has so many benefits. The other way you increase APM is just by getting in the habit of pressing random keys like the tab or the Z to pull up the chat. That's really normal nowadays. And the other way that I would do it personally is just like start applying, like, your champion should never look like it's standing still or moving in a particular direction. Not only because of APM, but also because you're telling the enemies your intentions, right? If you go watch a challenge or Korean game, what you'll notice about people there is like, it's really hard to read their body language. But here it's so easy, you're just walking into the Naila. And I was gonna mention this, you're kiting, Naila is melee range, again, same mistake. Naila is a melee range champion, and you are hitting her while walking into her. Look at her range, you see her range here. Look at how you walk into it, see? So why are you not spacing out in these auto attacks? Like, you could still auto attack her from out of her range, right? This is like this, like, let me go back and show you again. So this is Naila's range, and this is where you could auto attack from. So this is like, this zone here is like the sweet spot where you can hit her, but she cannot hit you, right? So ideally, you want to keep yourself inside the sweet spot. That means if she runs away, you chase, but only from here. If she stands still like she's doing, what you do is you kite side by side, as to always keep yourself in that sweet spot. And if she walks into you, like she did sometimes, you walk back to keep the sweet spot in the same place. So the basic rule of ADC is whenever you outrange someone because they are melee or that you have just more range than them, what you do is you put yourself in that Goldilocks zone where you can hit them but they cannot hit you. And you just go side by side if they stand still, you go in if they run away, and you go out if they go into you. Really easy. So here we're going in. Here you are keeping the safe zone really well. This step is good. But now, there. Now it's super bad. You should either walk out or side by side. But you walk in, see? So this is how you get hit by, like, for free. It matters a lot. It's like basic ADC fundamentals here that we gotta fix. So I want to skip it a little bit to see some late game action. Oh, how did she die? By the way, another thing, guys. You are never using the S key, right? S. Are you?
The stop command. No.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah, I
don't use it.
noticed. I noticed. When you get hit by a binding, by any kind of root, Morgana, Lux, whatever, even Jinx traps, your champion, if you have auto attack activated, which I recommend that you do, if you have auto attack
I
activated,
have it.
yeah, I know you do
I think.
because of what happened here. So when you get hit by a binding and you have auto attack activated, there's a, I don't know if it's a bug, like it doesn't seem intentional. Like your champion will begin auto attacking what's closest to you. And you know that's really bad because if this is early game, you will lose a lot of auto attack windows. So let's say that you could auto attack Lux 3 times. 2 of them are gonna be wasted on hitting the minion now because she binded you and you didn't press S. So how do you avoid this? Is as soon as you get binded by a Lux, here, you press S. Here, any challenger ADC would be spamming the hell out of that S key. S, 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 S. So what will happen is, there, see, this is why you auto attack the minion, because you got binded. Whenever you get binded, your champion automatically attacks the things closest to it. You know what's even worse about it? If you get binded by a Morgana under tower, and there are no enemy minions, you auto attack the Morgana immediately if you don't press S and you get tower aggro. So if you ever get rooted or CC'd under tower, you gotta spam the S keys to not auto attack enemies. Okay. So this is just you not spamming S key. And again, this is another way that you would improve your APM. Because S key is another input that would increase your APM. So the best players in the world, they don't click where they want to go. Usually what you will do, let's say you want to get in this bush, and you want to get in the corner pixel of the bush, like as far up as you can. What you will do is like you click here or here, and you click S, click S. So you move like 1 pixel at a time. So this is why you should press S key here, just mechanical stuff. So you see how you wasted a couple auto attacks in the minions. And you're not loading your Q fully, so charge it more, right? It's doing no damage because of that. So I'm gonna skip a little bit and see how we are going in the mid game. Yeah, I'm glad I did because nothing happened. You have the same KDA more or less. I like Varus so much. Okay. I'm gonna tell you why you get hit by this binding again. So if you look at your champion, pretty sure that you're clicking somewhere around here, and this is why your champion is doing a straight line. And if you wanted to dodge this binding, you would have to move the cursor all the way to, like, I don't know, another place, and it takes time. But if you click really close, it's like this movement, really fast. Okay. And like I told you, when you click far away from your champion, you do these like elongated straight line movements that are really bad, really easy for lags to hit you. So the last session was way more macro, and this one is way more mechanical, the VOD, I mean. So you're losing a lot of your CS. I think you should do some CS practice drills, because this is not something anyone can teach you, like, oh yeah, you should have clicked here. Like, of course you know that, but if you ask me what you could do to CS easier, is that, funnily enough, this is the only time that you would wanna be melee range from minions. So funnily enough, early game when you were melee, you should be ranged. And now, when you should be melee, you are being ranged, right? Did I say that correctly? You get
Because
yeah.
that's right. That's because you then don't have the projectile travel time, right?
Exactly. So the closer you are to the enemy, the faster the projectile will arrive. So you do this a lot under the tower as well. Sometimes you effectively increase your attacks if you go melee range. Even in practice tool, if you ever try this in practice tool, let me show you. This takes literally 1 minute to show you. Basically, when you want to freeze a wave, so this is pro tip for freezing with long range champions. The pro tip is the following. The best way of freezing is to hit the enemies at the last possible second, correct? Like, the later you CS the minion, the more that the wave will freeze. So if this is the minion HP, and this is the threshold where you can kill it with your damage, if you kill it here, the wave will push slightly more than if you kill it here, right? But it's dangerous because the more you wait until you kill the minion, the harder it is to CS, right? The more that you can actually miss it. So how do you mitigate this? Because I'm telling you, I want you to hit this minion. You're trying to freeze, which is perfect. And I want you to hit this minion at the last possible pixel of HP. So how do you do this if you're really far away? It's really hard. So the way you do it is by standing really close. So I'm going to show you what this means. I'm going to pick something like... Oh, I don't have... Oh, I have ours. Okay.
The guilty will know agony.
I'm actually not gonna get lethal tempo just so that is clear and the damage doesn't really change. I don't have Varus skin. That so I'm gonna buy like some attack speed. I don't know, like I'm gonna buy so look at this. I'm gonna go to like 1000 damage, and you would think that it's impossible that I get any more DPS than this, right? The DPS that I get now, how can I ever get more DPS than this? Even if I click the guy, it's not gonna go higher, right? So when I get to 1000 damage, so what if I tell you there's a way that you can get more DPS than this actually, but it's not very recommended. So the way you can get more DPS than 84 at 1000, by the way, if you're unsure, I'm gonna do it again. There's no way I can ever get more than that. Always gonna be 84 at 1000. This is like my maximum DPS output, no matter if I click it, no matter if I don't click it. Okay, 84 at 1000. There's one way that you can get more. Look at this.
Pity those who cross me.
I got closer to him and now look at the DPS. If my calculations are correct.
Minions have spawned.
Tada! We got more DPS at 1000, okay? Why? Because the projectiles had to travel less time in the end than in the beginning, therefore increasing the DPS. Is this good? Should you do this in a fight? Not really. This is only good for CSing when freezing, or like maybe in one fight out of like 50, this would be something that you would actually use. But small pro tip here for people that didn't know: when you actually walk melee range to someone, you do a little bit more DPS. But it's barely noticeable, not really recommended. But here, yeah, if you did it, the only reason you're missing these minions is because you're really far away from them. See, all three of them. You're really far away from all three of them. And there are no enemies in the lane, so... And by the way, the one that you did get, you got it at really high HP. See? Here, see? So you could have waited a bit longer had you just stood closer to it. Is that clear, guys? Maybe I overcomplicated it, but I think that's clear.
No, I understand.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, the same thing happens the other way, right? So if I start here and I move far away, I think I lose DPS. Yeah, see? Now we got less DPS because I moved out. So this is why in my practice drill to practice DPS, I told you that you should always be in the same range, otherwise you cheat. Because you might be doing it perfectly, but you get a different number because of moving in or out, okay? Remember that this Varus build, you should auto-attack before using Q or E. You don't have like lethality or anything. Okay, so yeah, we need to work on that CSing. I think you should focus more on CSing drills than the DPS drill right now. In fact, I have a perfect one for you. Do we have a session coming up, Bilderman?
No, I haven't got one yet.
Okay. Because if we ever do a session, I will tell you the drill that you should be doing here.
Alright.
Okay, so let's skip a little bit to the later stages of the game. So right now the game is kind of even, and they have one Drake, so we need to play for these Drakes a little bit more. After the, remember, second Drake comes up in like 15 or so. Oh, you're dead, no? Oh no, never mind. No. Ah! Eh. Let me see this again. So this Varus ult is really bad, right? Because what's the point of the Varus ult? To not allow Naila to move. But guess what? Naila doesn't care about not moving here because you're behind her either way, so she can still hit you. So as a general rule of thumb, roots should be used when you actually get in front of her here. So when you are in this zone, you root her. But if you root her here, she can still hit you even though she's rooted. So the root is completely meaningless. What you should have done is flash and then root, and then she can never hit you. Imagine it in your mind. You flash here, then you root, you walk away, right? So this root is completely meaningless right now. She can still hit you a lot even though she's rooted. So you wasted your ult, see? Your ult was completely meaningless there, okay? Is that clear, guys? So we have a little bit of a Maestro Yi going on with a Kale. Yeah, I don't think you can lose this game. Like I said, it doesn't matter how much you int now. You survived the early game and now you have Kale and Master Yi. People are really disgusting, right? Like imagine the kind of people that pick Master Yi and Kale in solo queue. And like the Varus chats. So you're just wasting time here. Never mind the Gnar engage. Why are you not bottling, right? There's nothing for you here. Kale wants to get solo experience to level up to 16, and you're losing a bottling wave for free. What I said is, after second Drake, you group with your Jimas ADC, but second Drake's still not up and hasn't been taken. Still not 15 plus, still not second Drake. Oh god, so yeah. Why does he stand you there? Same thing as before. You're kiting into the Gnar instead of side by side, see? Can you hit Gnar with the Q here, from this place? Like you can hit Gnar from here even, or here, right? With a Q. So what is the...
I think I can almost hit him when he is at the other side of the river with the Q.
Yeah. So what is the point of going closer? Is your Q gonna do more damage because you're closer or anything? No, right? So funnily enough, I don't know what it is about Varus, but this year I coached like 5 Varus players that were below Platinum. All 5 of them did this. When they were charging the Q, they walked into the enemy as they were charging Q. I think I know why. I think that you are clicking on Gnar as you're charging the Q to aim the Q, and that makes your champion walk into Gnar. That's what I think. Otherwise, I don't know why they do it, but every single Varus that I have seen in this elo does this. Or like they charge the Q and just literally walk into the enemy when they are charging the Q. In fact, I think in one of the bootcamps that we had before, I showed a clip of somebody doing this. I actually show my downloads folder in the bootcamp. Who else can do that? The peace of mind, the purity of my soul. Not anymore. So let me see if I find. There was a clip that I showed once of Varus doing this.
I think I also moved towards him to keep auto-attacking him after I used QW because I didn't know if it was gonna kill him.
But you have lethal tempo stacks activated, which means you can auto attack from like here.
That's true.
There's no way that you can. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that you cannot do. Like, there's nothing that you can do from here that you couldn't do from further away. In other words, there's absolutely no benefit for you to get closer than this blue line here. There's absolutely nothing. Auto attacks, WQ, ult, everything you can do from that far away. I think I found the replay that I wanted to show you. Yeah, CC Varus. Okay, look at this guy. I think he did the exact same with the Q, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, see, look at that. He's doing the same. Like, when he charges Q, he's like walking into them to use it instead of using the max range of the Q. This time is extra bad because he's getting into enemy vision if he does it. But look at that. He could already Q from here, couldn't he? And see what he does? He gets melee range, see? And now he's melee range into a Sion. And now, I told him kite save by save, but look at this. Why is he getting hit by all of this? And now look, he gets hit by Sion Q. Again, he walks in when charging the Q. This is not the range of Q, guys. But look, see? Why does he get hit by this Sion Q? Because of that, okay? He's not playing from far away. If he had used the Q here, then he could walk like around and then hit from here with lethal tempo, or just stall out and wait the Sion Q, but no. Because it's like autopiloting walking in with a Q, and the auto attacks, he gets hit by everything. Okay, and now he loses the fight. He was 14-3, lost this game because he's useless in the fight, because he gets permacy, hit and hit. When he finally can affect the fight, his teammates are dead. So this is the same as we're seeing here. The exact same. So you didn't do anything this fight, just killed everyone, but you didn't affect the outcome of it. So it's a coin flip. If you do this 100 games, you're gonna lose 50. You're not gonna climb, because you're just not being impactful by positioning in such a way that you don't output damage, because they are like CCing you, killing you. K. So I think now, let's see. I don't know if we have time for another replay. We can finish watching this one first. But I'm not sure if we should watch one more. Hybrid we already watched yesterday. And is there anyone else here that sent me a replay that we didn't watch? I think there's nobody else, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. So let's see this again. Really bad that you're using the W here. The W has like a 30+ second cooldown, and the damage goes up the lower HP enemies are. So the W is an execute that you want to use when enemies are low. So you never want to start the teamfight poking with QW, because the W can do no damage. See? And you didn't even charge the Q fully. So what you could have done is, by the way, I think QW outsmites the smite even at 900 if you max charge the Q. Especially if you auto attack the dragon once or twice to apply some stacks of blight. So you're wasting W here. I thought it was ADC only week. No. It was ADC yesterday, but we did spice it up with I mean, yesterday and today we saw like 5 ADC games and support, and only 1 jungle game for our friend Shadow Primes. Okay, straight line again. Here, if Jarvan had Q, you were absolutely dead. Look at how you're walking into... See that? You are walking into melee range. You should be where Janna is right now. So positioning. Also, another bad Q. Reason 1, you didn't charge it. Reason 2, isn't it better to hit 3 people with a Q instead of only 1, right? Like, you would have hit all 3 of them with a Q. Max sucks. Max loading time. Every week is ADC week. Again, we're kiting melee range, but it's fine. Like, kiting in, that's what I mean. Instead of side by side. That's very optimistic flash by Janna. She's never gonna kill that Lux. I don't know what the fuck she's doing. This Janna is the kind of player that sees the glass half full. If you ask him, is the glass half full or half empty? It's like, yeah, it's half full. Look at the optimism. Look at that. Very optimistic. I like how Lux exhausted her after all the combo. So Lux is exhausting Janna out attacks. Very nice. That's what I mean when I tell you, when you go to lower elo, you can see what players are feeling. And when you go to higher elo, you can see what players are thinking. You can definitely see the emotions behind this play. Janna is like bloodlust, and this Lux is scared as fuck, and that's why she exhausts. It's all emotional, right? Avoid playing with your emotions. Don't be like my ex. You don't want to play with people's emotions. So... finally, we're getting this tower. So after this, we should rotate mid. Let's see if we do. Like recall and rotate mid. So, wait, what did I miss here? How did you end up in that position? What? Ah! So, question. Why are you not out-attacking her here? She used both charges of her E. She used her dodge ability, and she used the flash already. So if you out attack her, is there any possible way she can actually kill you if you space her out and use the spacing well from out of her range? It's like
I don't think so.
right. So again, this
But,
is just emotional
um,
being scared, right? Instead of actually thinking. There's no way she can kill you.
Yeah, and I also am not really good at tracking the cooldowns, so
Mm,
I need to pay closer attention to that. So
right, exactly.
I think when this happened, in my head, I was like, she can jump on me any second and kill me because I'm low and she is like at 2/3 and I'm at a quarter of my health. So she can
Right,
just
right.
jump me and kill me.
So this is why enemy cooldown and enemy damage output tracking matter so much for ADC, because safety and positioning is only like, you may think that Varus is playing safe here, but not really, because safety is only a function of how much like the enemy can kill you or damage you, right? Like in other words, if you had a kill ultimate on you, then being here is just as safe as being here, right? So safety, you can only talk about positioning and safety and danger if you actually track the enemy cooldowns and damages, because that's the only way you can actually realize, oh yeah, this is safe, this is not safe. So here, what I'm trying to say is like, here you're equally as safe as here, but the difference is here you kill her and here you don't. Which means that actually this is safer. You know why? Because here you wait until she gets cooldowns back and then she can jump on you. But here you kill her before the cooldowns come back and she dies. So the safest place to be right now is out attacking her out of her range. So safety as an ADC is positioning safety and danger zones and zones of like that's what I call like heat map, right? Like in your mind you had to create like a heat map of like this zone here, like let's make it like this, a heat map, and you will go like this zone here is super dangerous. This zone here is safe but only for now. Like all this zone here. And where you can out attack her but she cannot out attack you, that's the safe zone, right? Because you would kill her. But this is only possible to do if you actually measure and track the enemy damage and cooldowns. But if you don't, this is only if you're good at tracking cooldowns. But if you are not, what most ADCs in lower elo will do is like, and even up to high elo as well, what they will do is like, yeah, this is dangerous, this is less dangerous, like in the middle, and then this is safe, period. Like just really autopilot, right? Like just taking into account only the range from the enemy, that's the danger zones, right? But here you're never tracking cooldowns, you're never tracking anything, so. Anyway. I guess you recall instead of chasing you, I don't know. Like you both, you are both scared of each other. Let's finish watching this. Not doing much, mate, but you are fine. You don't have to do much. Okay, first touch. You don't have to do much. So again, we're melee range hitting the minions. This is what we should have done in the freezing, but not now. Wait, what is this? That's not very... Yeah, no. So what was the idea behind that? Because you're kind of like, if you look at the positions in the map... Yeah.
I thought they were gonna go for the kill here. Because she is in their jungle. So I tried to stop the Lux from going there, and I thought if I hit my ult, I can maybe kill her.
So the enemies are in vision here. So let me show why this is bad. Number one. Again, about ultimate, same exact reason as the last one. Lux being rooted here doesn't matter. You know why? Because you don't have vision on her. You will only have vision on Lux when you get to this point here. Like the vision on Lux is like here, okay? Here you will have vision on her. But you don't have vision on her right now. I know because you're not out attacking her. Second, if you look at your teammates, far away, far away, far away. Only Janna is with you and she backed off a little bit. So you're not paying attention to the map or the camera. These two guys are on ally vision, you're seeing them. And you're seeing this guy too. So you're literally going into a deep 1v4 territory alone. So before you engage, see how you cannot see her here. The number one rule before you engage on someone in League is like looking at your teammates and enemies' position in the map. You know, this is a 1v3, and if you stay any longer, it's a 1v4 and 1v5 when Vex arrives. Yi stop, Sion stop, Kel spot. Thing is, you don't even have to fight because you have Mastery and Kel. That's what I mean. See, let them arrive, let the Avengers come, and you know the thing about them is that they don't have CC, Kel and Mastery. So imagine if you save your ult for them, right? So they are doing pretty much all the work here. So you're coin flipping that they are gonna carry you with 2 OP champions, and it happened. But if you do this every game, like I always say, next game they have the Kel and Mastery, and what do you do now? At least you're not dying, so you're not. So this is a typical player has 50% win rate and not 45. You don't climb, but you don't lose too much either, because at least you're not trolling them. You're not like preventing the Mastery and Kel from winning by dying a lot or something. But still, you're just relying entirely on them to win. It doesn't mean you need to carry with KDA all the games. What I mean is, you're not playing for them either. Like, whenever I get like 1,400 LP challenger mid laner that is playing like a Kassadin in my team, what I do is like I just play for him and set him up a lot with Jin W or whatever. I don't get the kills, but at least I'm being helpful, like for him. Varus can do the same. Again, we're melee range and not auto-attacking at all. 0 auto-attacks. So that's the first auto-attack in the whole team fight. So I want you to see the auto-attacks here. Not auto-attack, 0, 0, 0. That's the first auto-attack, right? Like 7 seconds into a fight or something. So this is what I mean by no impact, because you're not doing any impactful things here other than your ult. I'm kinda curious how you would play with Lethality Barrows, because this is a typical Lethality Barrows gameplay where you just play with ult and Q, but even then you're too close for that. If you just wanna play with Q and ult, then you gotta be far away. So here you should have swapped targets to Vex when she arrives. Nar is dead, so here you walk in this direction, you can dodge the Vex thingy, and then you start hitting Vex with the insane attack speed you have from your passive and from your lethal tempo. You're at 2.3 right now, with only 1 item and a half. So this Vex would have died if you just go left and start hitting her. So we see how kiting in all the time is really bad, right? You're kiting into an R like that, see? Again, he stuns you. Your auto attack range is longer than his stun. And even if it wasn't, you can walk to the side. Okay, so I guess the game is over by now. In fact, I stopped the recording because I was like, yeah, this is not safe for work. It's already over. You did win this, right?
Yes, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure I did.
Okay, okay. Imagine if I... Yeah, that's what I mean. Imagine if I stopped the recording and you lost. I would have felt bad. But is this NA or Europe? Europe, right?
Yeah, EU West.
I want to show you something. Let's see your damage in this game. Pretty sure the damage in this game is gonna be like insanely low. Which one is it? Can't find it. Is it ranked?
Yes, it is.
Oh, here. Okay. Compared to the others. Oh, it wasn't that low compared to the others. I'm surprised. I thought it was gonna be even lower. Maybe some... Okay, so I stopped the recording. Maybe when I was... Up until the point I watched, maybe it was low and then it got higher. But... Definitely, this is the kind of game that you just... It's not bad. Okay, knowing how to get carried is super good. I always say it's more important to know how to get carried than to know how to carry. But you're getting carried without helping them carry you. That's the thing. You're not dying, so you're not trolling them. You're a teammate that I wouldn't hate to have, but at the same time, it's not like you're making the job of Kayla and Mastery that much easier either. So in other words, what I mean, put it this way. If I swap you with Nyla, I think the game goes the same way, right? If you put Nyla here, she would win and you would lose, right? So you want to play the game in such a way that if I swap you with the enemy, the game will go differently, because that means that you're actually impacting the game, okay? That's pretty much all there is to this VOD review, and we went an hour and a half already, so that was very complete, very nice. And I want questions now. Does anyone have a question? Anything that you would like to ask?
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to know if there's gonna be like more of these weekly bootcamp, like VOD reviews and master classes that you did.
Dylan, Mr. Dylan, can you reply?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, so the plan is to have ideally like 2 of these a week on the weekend. Every week
All right.
moving forward.
All right, yeah.
And-
I guess I'll attend them because I used all the info that I just got from you, coach, like reviewing my game, and I just won the game in 15 minutes because of that.
Poggers.
I played a game while I was watching on my other monitor how you coach the Bears, and I just turbo stomped him.
The multitasking, I do it a lot. I was playing a game while coaching. No, just kidding. I was not playing a game. But that's why you get 2 monitors. See, it's broken. So you can post it in. I guess you can post that in the testimonials channel.
Wait, let me just. I think I. Where is it? I found it.
That's a good idea, right, Dylan?
That's a great idea.
If you see the screenshot, it's like I made the Draven rage quit.
Oh well. Is there a Dragon that doesn't rage quit? So I still want that pizza from Dylan. That's why I'm asking for people to post in testimonials. I want that pineapple pizza.
You better get somebody to deliver it to you in what is it? What's the name? Pizza delivery server skin?
What?
Allows Sagittarius.
You mean like in the USA, like GrabHub or like DoorDash?
No, I just mean like someone hand delivers it to you in the pizza delivery server
Oh
skin.
my god. Yeah, how does that even work, Dylan? Like, do you give the money or do you actually call the pizza place from Australia?
Yeah, so usually it'll be I'll just DM the person and work it out.
Okay, that's fun. Do you actually bring us the pizza from Australia, like personally?
Yeah, it gets a bit cold though.
Okay. And I imagine the cheese would stick on the box because you're in Australia, so you will be like upside down, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm also in the southern hemisphere, by the way. So southern boys here, Uruguay represent. So it's also winter here. So it's cold as fuck every day. And I'm actually coaching with a blanket wrapped around me.
Well,